Hello and welcome to The Remembering. My name's Matthew, and I'm lucky enough to have Chase here tonight to help me co-host this show. Hi, Chase.
Hello.
So I did last week, and I think Chase has also just got involved with 5D Media Network. So hopefully tonight we can do some experiences, and if anyone wants to call in to speak to anything, then they're more than welcome to do so. So Chase, let's start by speaking about your awesome sign and what you've been doing in public with that sign.
My experiments with energy and thoughts. Yeah, the sign is a project I've been doing. I basically took a piece of cardboard and I wrote "You're awesome," and then went to a street corner, busy street, and was just standing there with a sign as all these cars going by. It's definitely I don't know, how do I say it? It's fun and it's a joy. And a lot of people be driving by, honking and thumbs up and peace signs, and they're yelling out their windows.
What do you think that says to the structure, our social structure, and how it's such a big deal or a celebration when someone expresses gratitude or genuine love or any kind of extends some positive life affirming vibration to another. Isn't that funny how it's a scene, or you can definitely see the reception as something out of the ordinary almost?
Yeah, it's such a sensational thing.
What have you experienced with the energy? Specifically, do you have any experiences of something that was really cool that shocked you?
I started to think that a majority of people, I don't know what percentage, but I just see the relief on their face, as if they had these thoughts in their head that were just looping and saying, "You're not awesome, you're not awesome," or "You're not good enough," or you made a mistake, or something bad is about to happen. Whatever these thoughts that are running in their mind, they get this enormous relief when they see the sign. It's like it snaps them out of some hypnosis.
Yeah, well, I think it actually does. It's kind of like, I feel a lot that kind of situation for me when I paint the picture in my head of you kind of on one side of the bridge and they're maybe on another side and they don't know that the bridge is there, they can step onto the bridge. So it's kind of like you putting a hand to help them across the bridge, just in those moments, just kind of making a statement that I see you, kind of, just recognizing them as part of you or as an extension of you. And that's really cool that you're doing that.
One of the big things I started to realize is that I'm not even really doing it. They're doing it. As they see the sign, it's like a mirror inside their consciousness. And some of them reject it, like as if they see the sign and they yell out their window like, "You're not awesome," or they tell me I spell it wrong because I kind of leave the E off the end. And so they make up some excuses for not receiving that, which is really, that's none of my business. It's like their own personal choice. But when I see people it's as if they're seeing a part of themselves they don't always get to see.
Yeah, definitely. And has that experience of you holding the sign, have you uncovered any parts of yourself by also getting mirrored by all of them when they go by?
Definitely.
I bet that would be a really good opportunity to tug on some strings and just unravel some yarn inside.
Definitely. Like, I had to take it, not take anything personally. Like, it's pretty rare that people will criticize the sign, but when they do, it's not to take personally. It's just that's how they're choosing to see themselves in the moment. That's how they're reacting to themselves. It's not just a belief, but it's like this experience that we are all one and we're all reflecting mirrors of each other. And then I also can't take it personally when they accept the compliment, because really it's like it's all up to them to see you're awesome and to say thank you or whatever. It's like they're allowing themselves that feeling of awesomeness or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I've really been noticing that going from my the experience in time, identifying with my story or my personality, or taking things personally, and I've really noticed shifting out of the focus of me in the universe to the focus as being a unique expression of the universe, and kind of going from, it's not personal, but it's authentic. So it's not saying that you're just the oneness and we're all the oneness, but really just owning your unique signature in that one, kind of. And I feel like the more we can observe other people in their experience, or how the mirrors that are coming up for them, also that just kind of strengthens ours as well, or that's what I've found for sure.
Some weird things happen too. Like, I decided to take the sign into more of a ghetto part of town, and just to see. I just wanted to experience the energetics there, and I definitely do feel like a wave of cars that goes by. I can feel their emotions. I can feel the relief that they feel. I can feel the even before they drive by, I can kind of like sense, and it's like a premonition of the emotional fields that are about to approach.
How fast do these cars come by? Jeez.
There was this one experience of a woman sitting on the bus, and her head was down. She was kind of looking at the floor, and but before I even saw her, I could feel something, like I was supposed to look at her. And so I looked to the left, there's the bus, and I felt like her deep sadness. And so I knew that I was to connect with her. And so I yelled at the bus as it drove by, and I held the sign up so she could see it. And I felt it's just such an intimate connection, because she is her and I am me, but at the same time there's the emotional field is so transparent, and I felt her pain and I felt her joy at the same time. And that's something that I've been experiencing. I don't know what what you've been experiencing in interacting with people, have you been noticing overlaps of feelings like that?
Yeah. For me, I'm still working on making sure that I'm grounded in my own energy and in my own field. So I'm not just I can feel compassion for the other individual or really take on that feeling. But for me, sometimes I tend to take it on as my own, and especially when I'm around my parents and things like that there's still parts of me that I'm integrating, and when I go out in my community or in town, I guess I don't think I've been feeling other people on like a deeper level and really feeling their pain and their joy, but I definitely for me it's more of a visual thing, and it's kind of for me it's like a mix between the two. Like I can look at someone, and if I notice someone, it comes into my awareness. Then by looking at them, then I start to pick up on their thoughts or how they're feeling, and I'm just strengthening my ability to be detached and to come to the knowing that they're choosing whatever they're doing, even if they're suffering, that it's their free will choice, and just making sure to stay in my light. So then, make sure that I'm in charge of my own light and my own experience, because that's just the mutually the best thing to do. And just realizing that that's just a mirror. This is really my experience, and they're not really there. Well, they are there, but you know what I mean? Like it's a hologram.
Do other people's emotions, do they ever like seem to swamp you in a way? Like I know a lot of people will refer to it as like absorbing energy.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, they used to. I guess I only became conscious of all of this, or my awareness has been accelerated. So it's kind of like, a month ago I would have been really swamped, but then now I feel much more in my own space and not so much, or I catch myself, or I feel the pull, quicker, so then I can choose to align with my own frequency and then just kind of discern theirs. But I know what you mean about the swamping feeling, and I think that that's going to be coming more and more as the energy kind of like bubbles up to the surface. And I've just really been focusing on kind of not having to protect myself, but just being really sure of what I'm carrying and what I'm giving out. So then in social situations, I can just like simply share myself with others. How about you? Have you felt the swamping, or are you confident or good at just staying in your own space?
I used to a lot more feel kind of other people's energy, like it's not invading, but it feels like they're invading. But I wanted to share a technique, and this is something I learned from Byron Katie. Have you heard of her? She teaches a self-inquiry process that basically comes down to questioning your thoughts.
Okay.
And so, take for example, if my mom is making me angry, then I would question, is it my mom that's really making me angry? Do I know for certain that she is intending to do that? And it's just really questioning the basis of my emotion. Because at the basis it's the thought that's that's creating that emotion. You know.
So
go ahead.
So do you find that you kind of uncover beliefs or things that you are believing 100%, or just definitions? Is that how you kind of like trace your way back through, like, into your subconscious kind of?
Definitely. Because like the more you uncover, the more you question these thoughts, and just really basic thoughts like, I need her love. Like, is that really true? Is that really what I need right now? And questioning that and realizing, that was kind of bogus. I'm free from that need, and I'm able to clearly seeing, okay, I wasn't really angry, or my mom wasn't making me angry. It was the thought that I need her to act a certain way, or I need her to stop worrying. These basic things, like questioning them just brings this freedom.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced the same thing, especially with the worrying thing, or just if my parents are worrying a lot, because they're still very just not really doing this work, and that's been a big one, of just being aware of, telling myself that I'm responsible, or that I have to save someone, or that they're my responsibility. Not saying directly they're my responsibility, but in the patterns of thought, just kind of, as you said, questioning those things, like, do I have to save my mom, or does my mom have to stop worrying, or can I be okay and be with this moment, come to peace with this moment no matter what. And it's kind of, for me at least, it's been coming to like a point of release, or like you get that feeling of for me, it kind of, usually when I analyze my thoughts, or I go into the subconscious, and I kind of come to that realization, shedding the light on a thought pattern, or something I believe to be true. I feel sometimes like a block is released a lot of the time, and then you just kind of, do you ever like feel lighter?
Yeah.
For me, like, I always,
like, there's a lot more space in the room.
Yeah. The space thing, yeah, you just feel like lighter, and you feel more. I feel like more space internally as well. Like like my lung capacity is just like doubled in the last like few months. And I can just like feel like my heart space just like fill up when I'm like feeling love and gratitude for like just being alive, and like I just never. It's like strange not strange, but like so incredibly like amazing when you just like feel who you are, kind of.
Mhm.
Do you want to speak a little bit about kind of, as we deprogram our minds and things, it's really like deprogram this conditioning, then we kind of have that free choice and that free space, and then there's so much potential and infinite choices.
Oh, stepping into that freedom, that scary realm of freedom.
Yeah, what have you found with that kind of that newfound, like, new responsibility, like you're standing in your truth, and then now what?
Mm-hmm. I think it's that spaciousness I've experienced coming into this, the feeling of freedom where there's so much space. You could go any direction. There's no obligations. There's nothing I have to do in particular. It's not about survival. It's like everything is okay. And for some reason, I still had this pressure, like the thought that I needed to fix something. So it's like, I think a lot of people looking for this heaven on earth, but when it comes, then, like you're saying, the deprogramming, we have to really be conscious and aware when we find freedom, because it may not be comfortable right away.
Yeah, and I really feel that, freedom isn't a destination. It's just it's the journey. It's the adventure of life and of expansion, I guess. So to stay free, like, we have to stay, or like, we're not static. It's like, it's a moving equilibrium, kind of. So, like, things keep, I don't think, like, I used to think that it's like I need to be, bulletproof and like 10 feet tall before I go out and do anything, and I just need to, integrate everything and then be free. But I feel like it's just like a continual journey, and like, it's just kind of like leaning into, there's a really good quote that was, fear is a signpost to freedom. So it's like, there's just like, the universe is like contrast. So it's just like, even when I think that I've kind of embraced all my fears, or taken a look at all of those things, I know, like, when I follow my joy, and when I follow what excites me, and when I follow what I feel passionate about, it makes me feel alive. There's going to be other things that pop up to mirror me to say, are you, can you do this, or is this the right path? But it's almost just kind of like, signposts along the way.
Mhm.
Also, talking about freedom, we should talk a little bit. I'd like to hear about the OPPT, the One People's Public Trust. I know that you have been following that a little bit. Do you want to just explain, or I'm kind of having trouble understanding exactly how this came about, or exactly what was the end result, and what does it mean now?
I think I'll just speak of it energetically, because it's basically what we're doing, what we're talking about energetically and emotionally between us and our family, between me and my friends, and becoming responsible for our own, our own being, and not assuming things about others, and not taking it personally when they project their beliefs onto you. That whole thing has been applied to, like, the geopolitical scale of governments and corporations and banks. So, kind of a longer story than I could really recap, but basically the whole hierarchy structure of our planet's governments and corporations has been foreclosed and collapsed. So now what we have is just individual human beings or sparks of consciousness living on a planet. We're all just like orphans on an island. We're just walking around an island, moving things around, playing with each other, sometimes hurting each other, you know. But the hierarchy of like, oh, he's a police officer, and I'm just the shoemaker, or like that's the president of the United States, and this is a handicapped kid in kindergarten. Like each and every being is equal, and each and every being is like a spark of God. Like they are a living creator, creating a reality, and then we co-create realities together.
It's crazy because just hearing about this, I just kind of want everyone to know, but I guess they'll just kind of know as they, if they want to know. The truth will come. But how do you think, as we kind of, just co-create and build this new paradigm, how do you see, do you have any like insight into how that's happening, or have you had any dreams of how you'd like the world to look, or?
To me, it kind of looks like each and every person will be finding their passion and living and doing what they want to do, whether their favorite thing to do is like making necklaces, or their favorite thing to do is really organizing our communities, or whatever it happens to be. Everyone can do whatever they want to do, and despite the fears that it would just ensue in chaos, I think everything will work out. Especially when people are living their joy. And expressing themselves in the way that they truly want to live.
That's so exciting to like just have this, really this burst of human creative potential that's just going to be so great, that people's gifts and abilities are going to just shine out of them, like, and everyone's just going to be able to just like not be, it's just, we're not going to be so distracted, so we're just going to actually have, focus to create just unlimited abundance and potentials for just human expansion in general. I'm just like so stoked.
I got to see a living example of this. There's a school in Minneapolis that's it's reforming from a school that had, like, they ended, but they're forming a new one, pretty much the same people. It's called Gaia Democratic School.
Oh, nice.
And what they mean by democratic is like everyone has a say in the consensus of the group. Nobody's an authority leader, although they will have people who play the role of a leader just for organization's sake. But the school is truly, the kids do what they want to do. They learn whatever they're curious about. That will be what they do for the day. And there are like scheduled classes that some of the guides or teachers will be hosting, but the kids are not obliged to be in them. They're not required. And it's all mixed. Like the young kids can go to classes with the older kids, and it's K through 12. But if the kid doesn't feel like learning, are going to classes that day. Like, he can sit and play Legos with his music in his headphones. You know, it's just like complete freedom. And but their curiosity is just so their curiosity drives it all. So they're really active, and they're learning, and classes happen spontaneously. But yeah, it may be a big detox from the regimented requirement structure that even I grew up in. I went to public school where if I had to go to the bathroom, I'd raise my hand and ask for permission to do like a normal bodily function.
Yeah, I mean, it was so funny the other day. I came across like an old report card from like grade back in like 2005 or something. And it was just like the things that I was getting marked on for completing, and it was just like, you know, works independently, follows rules and regulations, you know, works quietly, like it was all so autonomous, like turning me into like this robot. I was like 8 years old, and there was nothing on that piece of paper about creativity or collaboration or general interest. It was all of just like, did you check the boxes, and are you feeling like, it's like, I feel like it's just like going from like being alive as a child, and like all adults are just like dead children that just like died, and like we're like reawakening the child within, because adulthood does not have to be like boring at all. You're just like a more intelligent, free being who can just like, I don't know, I'm more playful now than I was like a while ago.
Definitely.
And I also wanted to touch on you were talking about the schools. I don't know if you've heard of a lady named Carolyn Corey.
No.
Carolyn Corey, if anyone's listening, you can check her out at her website's omniumuniverse.com. And her experience was she was 5 years old, and she totally remembered her experience of coming from Source and like why she was here on the planet and like her mission, and you know, it got to a point where she could automatically, you know, manifest things in front of her like in a second, and she just like had these abilities like from since she was like 5. And anyway, so she kind of developed this learning program where the teachers are just kind of facilitators. So as you expand your consciousness and we connect to the you know, the center of our brain, and as we expand out into, you know, planetary consciousness, galactic, universal. So she like has these tools on her website of how to really, you know, just be the expanding being you are and like connect to Source. And she like has this whole training program of like online to train instructors on how to, like, this new way of educating children. So it goes from like, if I, instead of wanting to learn about this tree that's in front of me, instead of trying to like read a book on it, I just tap into the consciousness of the tree and bring my consciousness into congruency with that of the tree. I read that energy signatures, and in an instant exchange, as I connect to the pineal gland and that 0 point, as I connect to that, I can have an instant exchange and just know everything about the tree. And Carolyn Corey can actually do that. Isn't that nuts?
That is awesome. I love that you could describe that in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, well, it just kind of, thanks. It kind of deals with just the principle that, you know, everything is energy, and energy is information, information is energy, energy is consciousness is energy. So it's just like, you know, as we are each a universe, we are the knowers of everything. And when you can kind of like just develop that higher sensory perception to just like, you know, really know your frequency and just like refine it to be like, we're like electromagnetic. So like we're like these like radio stations. So as we like tune our dial and like really tune into like where we're at, then we can just like bring that into alignment and then just line that up with other things we want to know and just like instantaneously like become the information. Like we are the information. It's not like it doesn't exist outside of us. And it's just like owning that. That's so like that's the potential that's coming up. Like that's great.
That's amazing. Yeah. One good practice that I've been doing is, I'll go up to a tree and I'll just put my hands there and just stand there and feel it. Like, there's like silent vibrations that are emanating there, and there are obvious vibrations, like the texture of the bark is pretty obvious, but then the energy of the tree is a bit more subtle. You kind of have to be more quiet, you gotta tune in more. And so one of the practices I've been doing is like imagining that the tree is one of my limbs, and so what would it feel like to have human hands on it? And that really helps me to tune in and connect.
That's so cool.
And the more I do that, I'm finding out that the world, like the external world, that used to seem so separate. Let's take that example of the tree. Like, as I start to really tune in and imagine myself as the tree, myself as the human and myself as the tree and myself as the earth, it starts to feel like this world is like a phantom. It's like a part of my body that fell asleep. You know how like if you sit on, you cross your legs and part of the leg goes numb, and to wake it back up again, like you start to move it and feel it and you slap it. That's what I've been doing with trees and the earth and the table and water. Just like kind of waking it back up again.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. Yeah, more and more as I just like the more I bring my focus and awareness and I'm curious about it, the more that it starts to interact with me too, kind of thing. So it is like totally just like about you just become less and less separate from everything, or just like that's a conceptualization that okay, you are one with everything. But then like really like having that understanding on like an experiential note, I totally get that. And I also find that just like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the more you kind of pay attention and like, just be with nature, be with the tree, and just like bring your awareness to it, I feel like it just like also starts, it opens up to you too, because you're opening up to it.
Exactly.
Like the other day, it was the morning and I was sitting out on my deck, and we have a hummingbird feeder, and I was like sitting on the step of my deck, and the hummingbird came right down and just fluttered about a foot away in front of my face and just stared directly at me for like 5 to 10 seconds, just kind of like checking me out and being like, I see you, I know you see me. Just like totally like communication, like not actually communication, but the hummingbird like just interacted with me, and I was like kind of with it and it was with me, and I was just like, we're both harmless, the same thing. And like I felt that acknowledgement from it, and it was just like such a the more we believe in magic, or the more we know magic is real and it's not magic, the more it becomes that we see it, and we live it.
Mhm. He didn't stick his beak in your nose or anything?
No, it didn't. It was so cool. It was just hovering there, just like chilling in its toroid. Toroid? Is that the energy?
Yeah, I think that's the toroidal field.
Yeah, it was just hovering there doing its thing, and I was like, well, enjoy your day, hummingbird.
I've been experiencing animals in this new way that I'll see them, say it's a bird, like I see the bird fly across, I almost said across the screen, but life as a movie screen, but the bird flies in front of me, right? But I can not only see it, but I can feel it, as if it like flew right through my heart. You can feel the animal. Or there's a fly sitting on the window here, and I can like feel the vibration of their wings, and it's somewhere inside. I can feel it in my body somewhere.
Wow.
So the senses are kind of overlapping.
Yeah. Also, I really found that water is so powerful, or my connection, the way I feel drawn to it, and as it, especially now with all the planets and water signs, this big water trine we're having this week. I've really felt that it's just like I'm interacting with it on a whole new level. It's just like I live by the ocean, and just like, I don't know, it's just like when the waves are moving, it's just like I'm moving with them, and it's just like so beautiful, that just really understanding, like unity intelligence, really, and just like the intelligence of being with it. I intelligently know, like feeling as one with the elements, and I don't know, it's just like I just like get so grateful, and like to like be part of that and like share that. I don't know, like, how do you feel about like with water, and have you experienced that at all?
The elements, water, air.
Like, do you feel drawn to one particular element, or like, you know what I mean?
They have their own personality in a way. Water's definitely been a theme, especially since being in Minnesota, where we have like 16,000 lakes and a big Mississippi River. Yeah.
Also, I'm going to interject. If anyone wants to call in and chat with us before we end this in a little bit, you can call in at 646-716-4598. So if you want to call in and share any of your experiences, then we'd love to hear from you. So, what are you experiencing like daily over these times? Because I feel like my body feels like it feels like a lightning bolts are just like pulsating up and down my body, and like it's the last few days especially, I just feel like I'm like a connecting point. Like, I have the visual of, like, that guy with the kite and like the key on the kite. What is it, Albert Lincoln?
No, not Lincoln. It was Ben Franklin.
Sorry, I'm Canadian. I don't know them. Ben Franklin. That was like in an Arthur episode. So I kind of like have that feeling of like when the lightning bolt hits the key, and then it's like whoa, and like I've been feeling that, just like these jolts of just like energy pulsating through my body. And I don't know, it's just like surreal. Have you felt that?
Yeah, uh, electric shock, are you saying? It's like an energy, as if like the sun connected with the core of the earth and you were the connector.
Exactly that, yes.
Yeah. I think that's what we are.
I think so.
I mean, we're on the same level as plants, and that's exactly what the plants are doing, is like translating the light from the sun and then the energy from the earth and creating this crazy awesome biological machine.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't know I was such an active participant. You know?
You are it.
I know, but I mean, like, you know, a year ago, I just be like, oh, and also, have you noticed this? Everyone's like complaining about the heat lately, and they're so hot, and I'm just so cool and like calm because I feel like I don't have I've let go of a lot of those energy blockages of like anger or whatever, discomfort that I held inside, and like I feel cooler, you know?
That may explain a few things.
What?
That may explain a few things for me. The past couple of days have been so hot, and like I go out in the sun for 10 minutes and I have to come in and take a nap.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know, maybe that's just my experience, but I know like I know I used to get really hot in the sun, but I felt that's because like the heat inside me blocked energy flow or something.
Okay.
And the heat outside would just like make me, I'm so hot and I can't cool myself down. And I feel like as we become more of an open system, we become more of a feedback loop. So then, it kind of like regulates our temperature maybe?
Mhm.
I don't know.
I did experiment with that. The sun was so hot and I was like, this is crazy. It's incredible. I'm like sweating. This is really hot. But I thought, the sun wouldn't be doing something to harm anyone. And the sun is definitely not shining its light in order to make me miserable. So I thought maybe this is the sun's way of expressing love. And am I not used to having so much love being poured on me?
That's exactly what it is, I think. Because that's something that I've been really not struggling with, but definitely number one probably intention or thought is I allow myself to receive love from others, from the universe, and I allow myself to be that, because I think that's a big one when we feel like we don't deserve it or there's something that's reflecting it kind of thing,
Mhm.
And just allowing that to just kind of hug you, or just allowing yourself to receive that is something new for me, at least. So does anyone want to call in and chat or tell me about your experience and how? I'd like to hear from someone who's also feeling these electrical charges. I feel like my DNA is just getting amped up or turned on, or something's happening, and I'm seeing these energetic clouds of vibrations with that keep getting clearer kind of thing. How about you, Chase? Have you had any encounters with beings, or other entities or read about any of that kind of stuff?
For me, it's more of becoming aware of like the intelligent beings that I surround myself all the time. Like there's a plant sitting here, and I don't always acknowledge it as a being.
Nice. So just like bringing everything in your environment or in your immediate surroundings, like acknowledging everything, kind of.
Yeah.
And connecting with it.
Mhm.
Nice.
And vice versa, knowing that everything is acknowledging me. Otherwise, it wouldn't appear in my reality. So everything that I see it knows that I'm here.
Oh, that was a good one. That really resonated. Yeah, I guess it's really, yeah, I guess I'm still working on that, coming to the awareness that literally every single thing I've chose for it to be here, and it's here for a reason too. It's like everything that's showing up, even the littlest, there's no little and no big, but I mean, I don't know. So what are you working on right now, Chase? What things are... Oh, that's actually... Want to answer this call first?
Yeah.
All right. So 507. Hello, 507.
I didn't mean to unmute.
Is it? I think it's unmuted now, eh? Hello?
Yeah, if you're looking for 507, I didn't mean to unmute.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Oh, right. So they have to raise their hand before we answer them, don't they?
Right.
Right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, 507. I overstepped my boundary there. So Chase, what other experience are you working on? What other experiments? I want to try some of these. The You're Awesome one. Are you doing anything else, or like what are you looking to like trying to generate in your life right now, or what are you trying to create, or what are you, are you just taking it day by day, or do you have any like, big inspiration right now?
Kind of a tough question. I do have some aspirations, but I keep getting caught in this I don't know how to describe it. Let's just say I don't know how to say it.
I know like this kind of like limbo place.
Limbo?
Yeah. Kind of, I know for me, it's just like, when I like feel this newfound freedom, or that I know I can do anything, and I know I can be anything, and I know that it's just, the extent of my imagination and my dream, as big as I want to dream, if I want to create, I can create it. It's like kind of stepping into this new freedom and this new power. And like my focus all used to be about, what do I want? And like, what is it I want to create? What is my life? And now it's completely about like, what do I have to give, which is mutually what I want as well. But like, where can I like make a difference, or how can I be of service to, and like, I just don't even know. Sometimes I just like it's like such a huge, the universe is so big that sometimes I just get lost.
I think I know what you're saying.
I'm actually working on this new project. It's called expandingtimes.com. I just like kind of got on board as a contributor. So hopefully we're going to put together some podcasts, and so many people are out in the world like doing this kind of work right now. Or I've really came across some just like phenomenal people just doing things that you never would see in the the mainstream media. But, people who are like really like onto something and like creating this new paradigm, and like so much is going on right now, and people are like getting together and doing so many things, and it's just like searching those out. And like, so with this expandingtimes.com, it's like an emerging web portal for like information, just like there's lots of them out there. But so I'll be like interviewing some experts and like put them on podcasts, so other people can learn, because I think so many people don't even know. It kind of seems helpless sometimes, I think, or like at least a lot of people I know look at what's going on and they think that it's all crumbling down and stuff, when really it's just like this massive expansion of human creative potential. Just like so much we're building. It's even beyond my imagination, but it's so cool to just like know that, I don't know, everyone's kind of just like doing their thing, and there's just like everyone's kind of here together. We're doing this together. It's not just like me, it's not just you, and it's like this combined effort. And like I've just never felt so, part of that, or just like caring about others,
Mhm. I think we're gonna easily lose track of how much creative things are happening in the world. Like, it used to be like a headline here or there, like somebody something really amazing and like mind blowing, and now it's like everywhere you look there's some new project in the community that's just like creatively getting people together and making connections, or new technologies. And I'm gonna lose track of all of it.
No, well, yeah, because it's just like everyone's gonna be so like, into their bliss, doing what they love to do, that it's just like you'll just be doing what you're doing, and everyone else will just be doing what they're doing, and it'll just unfold so organically, and like, that's so cool. I love that. And it's like, it's not going to be so much, about like this person is doing. Oh, that went quick. Hey, we did it that time. That was good. Nice. But I think I know what you mean. It's just going to be like it's not going to be about recognition. It's going to be about sharing. Hey, this is what I'm passionate about, and I'm making these things happen. And then, let me show you how to, if you want to do that too. And, let's co-create together. And I just like, it's just revolutionizing like business and just relationships and the way we do everything. There's just like a lot to look forward to, and just a lot right now in this moment to be thrilled about.
Yeah. And each and every person has their special gift. They are a special gift, and you never know what's inside. People are like seeds, and they're about to blossom. Or seeds and sprouts and flowers, and then the bees come and.
Well, I hope this conversation sprinkled a little water on those seeds. And thank you so much for being here tonight, Chase, and co-hosting tonight with me.
Thanks, Matt. It's a pleasure.